Kill the coverage and then watch how quickly they forget the same issues people said that we cannot neglect. What's going on, y'all? What's going on, y'all? What is going on, y'all? Excludes the glare in the glasses. I don't have my contacts on at the moment. And I got a lot of articles that I'm going to be pulling up. So there's going to be a little bit of glare. You see the ring light all in my joint if you're watching. So I apologize in advance. Normally I try not to do that, but it felt a little dark in here. So I threw the ring light on for once. So if you're watching, please excuse me. It's going to be a lot of ring light in your eyes this one. And if you're listening, hey, it don't even matter. You good either way. All right? Either way, baby. And now, let me just check something before we begin. All right. And so it begins, folks. Welcome back. This is the Sexual Intellectual Podcast, and I am your host with the most. You remember that? They used to say that? And now your host with the most. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just an old guy who remembers too many things. Who knows? But this is the Sexual Intellectual Podcast, starring your boy, JD, a.k.a. He Who Pods. And yeah, that's what that's who it is, who I is. It's who I be. Anyway, that's who I am. That's what you're tuned into. And thank you for tuning in. And while we're on thank yous, let's cut right to our first topic. And so, we all use some type of lithium battery today in one of our many devices. And that is something that we probably couldn't live without today. And so, we're going to start this episode by saying thank you to John Goodenough. And that's going to be the title of this episode. Thanks, John. Because without John, we wouldn't have this battery. And so we go to an article in Routers just to speak a little bit about him. And he says here, he's a pioneer in the development of lithium-ion batteries that today power millions of electric vehicles around the globe. And John passed just a month before his 101st birthday. And he died at the long-lived age of 100. And that's a beautiful thing. And Goodenough received that's dope. He received the Nobel Prize for Chemistry in 2019. Along with a group of other people for their research into lithium-ion batteries. That made him the oldest recipient of a Nobel Prize. That's pretty cool. There's all type of fly quotes about what he did, how we're able to use it. It says, because of this battery, we have the possibility of making a fossil fuel-free world, and is used in everything from cars to storing energy. It's used in everything. It is used for everything. Yeah, I read it right. It's used for everything from powering electric cars to storing energy from renewable sources. And so I think that's pretty cool. It also says that him and his university team were exploring new directions for energy storage, including a quote-unquote glass battery with solid-state electrolyte and lithium or sodium metal electrodes. Pretty interesting stuff. And I think a lot of this is talking about vehicle batteries, but I think it's a lot more than that, if I'm correct. Yeah, this is about him as a person now. All right, let me just see something. I thought this was going to have more about the battery. Let's just look up real quick. What are lithium batteries used for? Because what are ion lithium batteries used for? Here we go. Oh, come on. You see, I was right. Look at this. Immediately, if you look up what are ion lithium batteries used for, it says lithium ion batteries are rechargeable and used in vaping devices, many personal electronics such as cell phones, tablets, laptops, e-bikes, electric toothbrushes, tools, hoverboards, scooters, and even for solar-powered backup storage. And that's according to a government article. You see, Yeah, man, we all owe John a thank you. Thanks, John. We appreciate you and your service. And man, salute to you. I hope I get to be 100 and almost 1 years old too. Maybe I'll be known for some fly shit. But even if I'm not, I still got to say thanks, John. And everybody here who listens and watches, you should put a thanks, John, in the comments. I'm being silly, but yo, we all owe him. And so send this to a friend and let them know they need to thank John too, because we live on these devices. And without John, it probably wouldn't even be possible. So, boom, topic number one, check. Before we head to topic number two, let me just tell y'all, I know I've been slacking. I know I said I'm going to start dropping episodes Monday at 7 a.m. Take off the specs for just a moment. I know, that's what I said. And listen, I tried to record last week for y'all. I'll be honest, it wasn't on the day it was supposed to be. But I tried to record, and the tech said no. Okay, a little bit of transparency here before we go to our second topic. I've been having some tech problems. If you know what I do, you know I'm on 5 podcasts. And you know I'm heavily involved on the editing, the recording. I'm part of all the parts. All of the moving parts, all the things behind the scenes. I am involved in that. And so my little beautiful laptop here, she wasn't happy with me. She wasn't trying to work the way we needed her to work. And so we had to have a conversation, me and the laptop. We had to figure some things out. All right? But it looked like we got it figured out. And so I should be good now. But that's a big reason why. It ain't the only reason, but that's one of the biggest reasons why things have not been on time on the other pods. You know, my pod has not been out the way it should be. It's on me too, because I should be cleaning out my laptop, making sure everything's good. And I should be recording with ample time, not like 5 minutes, 40 minutes before the episode is supposed to drop. So that's on me. But I just want to let y'all know, it ain't that I was just out here not doing what's supposed to be done. All right? There was some issues in the background that y'all weren't aware of. And so hopefully everything is good now and we can continue to move forward. But I just want to be a little transparent up here and let y'all know I didn't forget about y'all. And hopefully y'all didn't forget about me. You know what I mean? And so y'all should be getting this episode very soon. It's Monday night on a late night. I'm trying to drop this for y'all Tuesday morning. Okay? All right? And so that'll be 2 pods in 24 hours. That'll be Man Cave Monday episode 10. If you didn't watch it, go check out me and the guys talking about some interesting topics. And then you get this one hopefully as well Tuesday morning. 2 pods in like 12 hours, 24 hours. Who knows? You know what I mean? I'm trying to do my thing. I'm trying to bounce back strong. You know what I mean? Big Sean said, last night took a L, but tonight I bounced back. So that's what we're trying to do. Let's move on to topic number 2. And I'm going to be honest, this is probably going to be a long pod because I feel a little bad. I got topics that I had to remove because time has passed. I got things I had to go look up. You know, I don't like having to do this, but I'm going to try to give y'all a packed episode full of some good stuff. And so let's move on to our second topic. And speaking of bouncing back, since I quoted Big Sean in one of my favorite Big Sean songs, which is Bounce Back, let's talk about bouncing back from relationships. We all have good times and bad times, and nothing lasts forever. Eventually, we all break up. All right? Very rare that you hear people were together until they passed away. A lot of times we break up. Most of the time we break up. Even marriages, we all know divorce rate is super high in this country, 40, 50%. They say it's on the rise. That's a topic for another time. But the point is, relationships end. And sometimes you want that old thing back. And you try to go back. And you try to figure it out. And sometimes, within that sometimes, it doesn't work. You tried to go get the old thing back. It ain't work out. And so you have a decision. You could wallow in self-pity and give yourself some time to hit the reset button, however long that takes you, right? You take time and say, hey, that last relationship, man, it really did a doozy on me. It smacked me all up. And now I need time to heal. And you take time to heal and you reset and you get ready for when you feel you're ready to get back out there. That could be a month, that could be a week, that could be a year, that could be a decade. Who knows? And sometimes we don't do that. Sometimes You know what they say? Sometimes the only way to get over somebody is by getting with somebody new. Well, I learned that that's called a rebound relationship. Never heard that term before the other day, but it's called a rebound relationship. Let me do like a Dr. Umar and repeat myself a little bit. By the way, if you haven't seen Let's Have a Real Conversation, one of the podcasts I'm on, you should go check out that our latest episode. We talk about Dr. Umar's review of The Little Mermaid, and we made fun of him just a little bit because he repeats himself a lot and says some other wild shit too. Go check that out too. Why not? All the shout outs this episode. But yeah, a rebound relationship, folks. When you get out of one relationship and pretty much hop into the next, it's called a rebound relationship. And apparently, some studies were done on rebound relationships recently. Ooh, that's a lot of R's right there. Rebound relationships. I can't even say it. It might be a tongue twister too. Rebound relationships recently. Studies have been done recently on rebound relationships. And so this article is from The Atlantic. And the headline says, rebound relationships are totally fine. What? Totally fine, they say. Why do they say that? Let's go into the details here. And so it says, quote unquote rebound relationships have a terrible reputation. A romance ignited shortly after another ends seems chaotic, like an opportunistic ricochet rather than an intentional search for compatibility. I hear them on that. It does seem that way sometimes, right? We've judged people before. Let's keep it real. You ain't got to say it in the comments, but just if you listening to this or watching this, you know one of your peoples probably was ending a relationship and immediately got another one. You probably had a lot of thoughts, questions, and judgment. Probably seemed like, yo, fam, what you doing? You wildin'. But this article says they're not wildin'. Let's keep going. And it says, people dating someone who's fresh off of a breakup are told to be weary of being used as a distraction or being treated carelessly by someone fumbling through their own heartache. But research doesn't seem to support the idea that rebound relationships are inherently toxic or doomed to fail. What? Kind of crazy, right? I thought it was crazy too. That's what made me bring the article to y'all. And so let's go to the research part. Skip around just a tad here. Okay, here we go. In one study of participants recovering from breakups, those who'd found a new partner were more confident in their own desirability, comma, more trusting of other people, comma, and less likely to say that they still had feelings for their old partner. Another examined rebounders who'd been in their new relationships for a year and a half on average. The quicker those subjects had jumped into that rebound, the higher they rated on measures of well-being and self-esteem. This is some wild stuff, no? Let's keep going. This is the last piece, then we keep going. We just want to chat a little bit. Amy Hackney, a psychology professor at Georgia Southern University, found something similar. There's a link. I ain't clicking on it. Y'all could go look at it if y'all want. It says, when she investigated what helps college students get over breakups, quote, the sooner they began dating someone new, comma, the faster they felt they had recovered from that prior relationship. It also says, although that might conflict with conventional wisdom, she thinks it fits with basic social psychology. It says here, a partner provides validation, care, and companionship. And when they go away, there's no reason someone else can't take their place. Perhaps that sounds unromantic, but according to Amy Hackney, it's healthy to be reminded promptly, quote, how many people we really can have fulfilling relationships with. All right, folks, there it is. And so, according to this article, according to Amy Hackney, a psychology expert and professor, you should just be jumping around, baby. It's leapfrog out here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I agree. I don't know if you agree. Do you agree? Let me know. Put it in the comments. Shoot me a text, something. Let me know your thoughts. I would love to know, do you think that this is the case? Do you think it's better to jump from one relationship to another? I don't know. And some of the things she said about relationships providing validation and stuff like that, I don't really know how I feel about that. But it's not about me. It's about you. What do you think? I think it's interesting. That's what I think. I didn't know these type of studies were going on. I would like to know what her other research showed. I would like to know maybe some percentages. That's what I was looking for and didn't find in this article. But I thought it was interesting that the Atlantic was talking about something like this. I didn't know that they did stuff like this. I thought it was interesting. And so I know we usually talk about more erotic topics here. But I thought this was a good kind of in the realm, but not in the realm topic. And so, we often talk about in the community about rebounding. And, I even have a song and book about rebound stuff. And so I think that's interesting that they're saying we should, and it helps us get over the last person. I always thought that was just an old adage, an old saying, best way to get over somebody is hop on to the next. And so apparently we should all be out here on the monkey bars, you know what I'm saying? Just holding on to one while we swing to the next. Apparently that's it, baby. We should be on the monkey bars when it comes to relationships. And I don't know. I'm going to have to think on that one. I don't really have a definitive answer for that. What do y'all think? Let me know. And let's move on. More stuff to discuss. All right. What's next on the docket? Okay, yeah. Speaking of relationships, I be hearing and I be seeing online. I be. That's from the Mad Rapper skit. I don't know if y'all know about that. Anyway, I hear lots of people using the term narcissist. I hear a lot of people speaking about people being full of themselves and their exes and their currents and everybody in between being a narcissist, when only like 3% of the world are actual narcissists according to studies. And so I found an article I thought I should share from Duke Health. And Duke Health has some interesting things here. It is an article about narcissism, and I just want to read that here, share some information with y'all, because quite honestly, I'm sick of hearing people say that everyone's a narcissist. We know it's not possible for everyone to be a narcissist. I do know in this society there are plenty of people who are full of themselves, and I think social media plays a big part of that. I think in this age of social media, we are constantly consumed with oneself and the gratification that we need as individuals as opposed to a larger societal view, which is another topic. But I do think that there's a difference. And I think this article may be able to shed some light on the differences. And so let's get into it. All right. So this article breaks down the differences between narcissism and narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD. Okay, I say it again. Narcissism versus narcissistic personality disorder. Two different things. And so it says here, having narcissistic tendencies like bragging or making yourself the center of attention are normal when they occur occasionally. Okay, when they occur occasionally. However, narcissistic personality disorder is different. Symptoms are more severe, or occur across different situations and environments, and make relationships with others challenging, if not impossible. And so this is written by Zachary Rosenthal, a clinical psychologist at Duke Health. And so Zachary Rosenthal answers questions about NPD and what you can do if you suspect that you or a loved one has the condition. And so here we go. Uh, ah, here are some of the signs of narcissistic personality disorder. And it says use the acronym Special Me to remember the 9 signs of NPD. Number 1, sense of self importance. Number 2, preoccupation with power, beauty, or success. 3, entitled. 4, can only be around people who are important or special. 5, interpersonally exploitative for their own gain. Number 6, arrogant. Number 7, lack empathy. Okay? Lack empathy. Number 8, must be admired. Number 9, envious of others or believe that others are envious of them. And so someone has to have all 9 of these or most of these in order to have narcissistic personality disorder. And let's keep it going. It asks, how is NPD diagnosed? It says trained mental health professionals conduct a structured interview to learn more about an individual's typical behavior patterns. If someone consistently displays at least 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 out of the 9, quote unquote, special me traits, then they meet the diagnostic criteria for the condition. Did y'all hear that? First of all, they have to have a health professional, okay? Not you, not your mom, not your cousin, not your boy, not your uncle, not your sibling. A trained professional, okay? A trained mental health professional has to review them and their typical behaviors in an interview. Not you was in bed with them for 6 months, or y'all went on a couple dates, or you were their significant other for 2 years. A mental health professional, okay? And even when that mental health professional says, hey, we're going to do this interview, during that interview, they need to display a minimum of 5 of those traits. More than half. There's 9, and they have to have at least 5. If they don't got the 5, they do not have NPD, okay? And so really what a lot of y'all are talking about is NPD when y'all are saying, oh, so-and-so's a narcissist. I'm a narcissist. This person's a narcissist. Oh, girl, I can't believe how much of a narcissist they really was. Just want to define that for y'all, okay? And then it goes on here and says, it's not genetic. It asks, are narcissists bad people? And the doctor says narcissists are not bad people. It's their behavior that's problematic. They have been conditioned to believe that they are special and deserve to be treated better than others and approach the world accordingly. And so if you really were with someone who's a narcissist, it is really probably the fault of their upbringing, according to what that just said. Okay? Because it says they have been conditioned to believe. Who can condition you to believe things? Probably your parents, probably your family, probably your siblings, probably the people you are in a very tight friend group with, probably a culmination of all of those people. Not a culmination, a combination of all of those people. Okay? And that is what it comes from. All right? And then it says, can I have a relationship with someone with NPD? It says it depends. If your romantic partner, family member, or boss has NPD, they can make your life challenging because they put themselves first. You may feel belittled, and your mental health could suffer. Coping strategies include setting personal boundaries and gently walking away if they are breached. However, this is not always easy to do. Calling your partner a narcissist won't help you either. I'm going to say it again, Dr. Umar style, baby. Calling your partner a narcissist won't help you either. Instead, you should focus on your well-being and decide what you are willing to tolerate. All right? And, the final question here is, can people recover from NPD? Yes, but changing a learned behavior takes time and effort. People with NPD do not generally seek help on their own. And if they do, it is often because of a coexisting problem like anxiety. Because there is no proven medical therapy or medication. To treat NPD, providers take an individualized approach, getting to know their patient. And listen, y'all get it, man. They got to figure out what's really going on to figure out what they think is the best course of action for you as an individual. All right. So walking around calling everybody a narcissist is actually false. Saying it to your partner themselves in a one-on-one, like in an argument, oh my God, Jay, you're such a narcissist. Not going to help according to the good doctor. Okay? And so these are things that a professional is saying. And I hope that hearing these words from a professional helps y'all figure out that really y'all should stop saying this shit all the time. Honestly. Because you are not a mental health professional, probably. I'm gonna roll the dice. 7. I'm gonna roll the dice and assume that you are not a mental health professional. I'm gonna take that risk here. And also, if you are a mental health professional, you're probably not just saying things like that all willy-nilly. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you realize that less people are narcissists than you think. And really, when you say that, you're saying that a person has narcissistic personality disorder, not just they have narcissistic tendencies. Because according to this, plenty of people have narcissistic tendencies. All right, let's move on, folks. Still lots to talk about here. In fact, I'm going to have to hurry up because these are taking long. And I know y'all love me, and I love you back. But we also don't have all day. And so last pod, I spoke about 3M and the quote-unquote forever chemicals. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a settlement has been reached. And according to the New York Times, 3M reaches a $10.3 billion lawsuit in quote-unquote, 3M reaches a $10.3 billion settlement in quote-unquote forever chemicals suits. It says here the deal followed an agreement by Chemours, DuPont, and Corteva to pay $1.19 billion to help resolve claims that the chemical manufacturers contaminated drinking water across the country. Across the country. Not across the Spider-Verse. Across the country, okay? And so, the chemical and manufacturing giant 3M reached a $10.3 billion settlement on Thursday with cities in the U.S. and towns over their claims that the company contaminated drinking water with the so-called forever chemicals used in everything from firefighting foam to non-stick coatings. Under the sweeping settlement, 3M said it would pay out the money over 13 years to any cities, counties, and others across the country to test for and clean up, I can't pronounce these substances' names, known as PFAS in public water supplies. 3M is facing about 4,000 lawsuits by states and municipalities for PFAS contamination. Oh, and they did not admit any liability. The company said the settlement covered remediation to water suppliers that detected the chemical at any level or may do so in the future. In a statement, Mike Roman, the chairman and chief executive of 3M, called the agreement a quote-unquote an important step forward for 3M and said it built on quote-unquote our announcement that we will exit all PFAS manufacturing by the end of 2025. No, duh. How could you not? Like, that's crazy. The settlement requires court approval, but it would put an end to legal claims, including a test case brought by the city of Stuart that had been scheduled for a trial before a federal judge on June 5th. That one got pushed back. So this is a second settlement. It says it's similar to a settlement which it agreed on June 2nd to pay $1.19 billion into a fund that would be used to remove PFAS from drinking water, from public drinking water systems. This is really interesting stuff. PFAS have been linked to liver damage, developmental issues, reduced immune function, and cancer, and are referred to forever chemicals because of how persistently they remain in the human body and the environment. They have also been detected in hundreds of wild animal species around the world. Wow. Listen, I told y'all this was crazy. And, you know, this only came to light because of a 2020 study. And there's tons and tons of people and animals being affected by this. And that's why I was saying last time, like, we need to all be checking our drinking water and trying to get as clean water that's as clean as possible, because this is like really bad. Um, I don't see anything about damages for people who have been affected. This is a really really long article. Well, not really really long, but it's a lengthy article. Uh, it's really really just messed up. I mean, three whatever the billions are, they don't bring back the damages done to our bodies. They don't bring back our loved ones who have passed because of this. And I just encourage everyone to get their hands on the filters and drinking water that is as clean as they possibly can get. Whether you have to outsource that or buy a filter, whatever it is you have to do, you know, it's for your benefit. It's from your family's benefit. And also check the filter that you're buying. They don't all do the same things. I mean, these things are called forever chemicals, so maybe nothing takes this out. And so maybe for a minute we all need to stop drinking, quote unquote drinking water. Um, I think it's worth looking into how your city and state were affected, what's going on with the 3M chemicals in your town, your city, your state. And I think this is something we should all be looking into. So I'm just passing on the information. And like I said, there's going to be an update soon. This was the update, and if more updates come, I'll report on them. But for now, that's all we got. So that's it on the drinking water front. But there's another lawsuit I thought was interesting that I had heard about. So this is from CNN Business, this article. But the Federal Trade Commission, or the FTC, is suing Amazon. It says that Amazon tricked consumers into signing up for Prime. It says millions of consumers were forced to sign up for Prime through a, quote, deceptive user interface. They're saying that we got Jedi mind tricked. We got whammied. We got bamboozled. And so the Federal Trade Commission is suing Amazon. I think this is so interesting because just a couple episodes ago, I told y'all about New York suing Amazon for trying to trick consumers about their biometric data. And here comes another lawsuit for Amazon. I don't know what's going on, but I think it's really interesting that Amazon is under fire from all of these different angles. Seems like Amazon is trying to trick its customers. And I guess we'll see what happens. The lawsuit is in motion. No decisions yet, and no settlements yet. I'm sure this would just be settled. They'll pay fines, and that's it. I just thought it was interesting that again, a totally different Amazon lawsuit came up from another government agency. A government. New York State is not a government agency, but this is more government action. New York State first, and now the FTC. Different reasons, same entity with more accusations of foul play. So I thought that was really interesting. Again, I thought it was worth a share. So here I am sharing. Be careful with Amazon, y'all. We love it, and we love that Prime. We love it, those of us who have access to Prime. But were you tricked? Were you bamboozled? Who knows? We shall see. And now, let's move on. We're about to wrap up, y'all. I know this is, tell y'all, we're gonna try to give you your money's worth here. You know what I'm saying? Even though you didn't pay no money. Ha, ha, ha. All right, little fun real quick, little fun. We always talk about the terms on the internet. I'm a fan of them. And so we've had another term added to the quiet family, okay? That's right, folks. A new trending term with a new trend. And this article This article comes from CNBC, and it says, at a time when most Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, the quote unquote quiet luxury trend takes over. Quiet luxury. That's the new one. Did you know about quiet luxury? I didn't know about it. I've had this article for a while, but I didn't get to pot about it. So if you heard about it, hey, tell me I'm late in the comments. Yo, you're late. Ben knew about it. But if not, here it goes. It says, marked by expensive materials in muted tones, quiet luxury is also known as stealth wealth. Yo, I like stealth wealth better. Dude, which one do y'all like? Do you like quiet luxury or stealth wealth? I like stealth wealth. That sounds kind of fly. Stealth wealth. I like that. And it says, as Americans' economic circumstances get increasingly divided, consumers could benefit from the shift to low-key basics over loud logos, one financial expert says. Okay, it says, what is quiet luxury? Marked by expensive materials and muted tones, quiet luxury, also known as stealth wealth, is the quote-unquote complete lack of logos and anything too conspicuous. That is from Tomai Serdari, professor of marketing and director of the fashion and luxury program at NYU's Stern School of Business. It says, quote, luxury brands relying on the quality of materials and they... Oh, I read it wrong. My bad. Luxury brands rely on the quality of materials and they have techniques that are very particular to them, she said, such as the cut, stitching, or other small details only recognizable to those who are very familiar with a particular item. Quote, that becomes a differentiator for those in the know. It's, Pusha T style. If you know, you know. And so this is the new thing, apparently. They speak about Gwyneth Paltrow and her wearing things. They say the boots that she had on in court recently cost $1,450. They were Prada boots. And she was carrying a $325 notebook by Smithson. And it was in the company's signature blue. It says, we have access to these semi-private moments and we want to replace their style. It's interesting. They got a picture of her holding the notebook. Yo, a $325 notebook is wild. Like, what does it do? It says, on the heels of the financial crisis, people who had money wanted to be a little bit more subdued. Inconspicuous, really, is what they're saying. They don't want cats to know the wealth they really have, so they're wearing things to kind of downplay it. It even says, I don't say who, but it says one of the central characters on Succession even scoffs a Tartan Burberry tote bag that retails for $2,890, calling the luxury bag ludicrously capacious. Okay. All right. We don't need anything else from that. And so anyway, I don't have any quiet luxury items. This t-shirt is from Hanes. I can't see the logo, but this is just a Hanes gray. This ain't like, some old Fendi quiet luxury item. I being poor only have my dreams. If you know, you know. And so yeah, quiet luxury. That's really interesting to me. That they trying to keep it on the low. But it's really interesting because they're talking about Gwyneth Paltrow and a character from Succession. We know those people have money. We don't expect them to be wearing a gray Hanes t-shirt. We know that even their drawers are probably Fendi and Gucci and all these other expensive quote-unquote Fifth Avenue stores. And so although it's an interesting term, and I do like stealth wealth better, gotta say it again, I don't think this is a big secret. I think we pretty much know what's the dealio, as we used to say back in the days. I think we know that most of them are wearing these items that cost our paychecks and our monthly incomes. You know what I'm saying? I think we know that already. I think what's more interesting and more worth speaking about is the fact that they use this money, they spend this amount of money on these items. And listen, if you believe it's a quality piece and you got the money to spend, that's on you. Um, I would say if you're from the hood and struggling to pay rent, you probably should not have a $300 notebook. Unless Gwyneth Paltrow gifted it to you, then that's a whole different story. But don't be like the drug dealer with the Benz parked in front of the projects and living with mom. That's my advice. Busting shots. Oh well. All right. And I think we're going to wrap it up here. I think that's a fun one. Quiet luxury. Oh, quick shout out. Just a quick little ditty. Last thing. Don't beat me up. I'm trying to do my thing here. Last thing. This is from NPR. You know, I like NPR and routers. This one is NPR. And this is not them who reported. This is everywhere, but this is just who I like to quote. Delaware State Senator Sarah McBride has announced a congressional run to succeed fellow Democrat Lisa Blunt Rochester as the state's at-large member, launching a historic bid that could place her as the first openly transgender person to serve in the U.S. House. It says, quote, "My commitment is to the people in Delaware who aren't seen, who don't shout the loudest or fund political campaigns," McBride said in a video announcing her candidacy on Monday. Quote, "Everyone deserves a member of Congress who sees them and respects them." Hey, listen, I totally agree with that. And so, I think that's pretty fly. We could very soon have our first openly transgender Congress member. And I think that's pretty fly. And so there's nothing else to really say here. They announced their candidacy. Their candidacy. They're running, and they're trying to get this Congress seat. And I think that's pretty fly. I think that's very brave, very bold, and I respect the hell out of it. And I totally agree with that quote. Totally agree with that last quote. And so that's happening in Delaware right now, and that's really it. I'm done here. Just trying to report on things that I think are interesting and that you might think are interesting as fellow intellectuals. And so that's it, folks. I'm out of here. I hope this has been enough to make up for the missed episode. And hopefully next Monday morning, you wake up to a notification that a new episode dropped. All right? Thank you for being here. Take these specs off so you don't got to get any more glare. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your patience with this episode as well, if you're watching, and all of the ring light glare in your screen. And I'll try to make sure I have no ring light and my contacts on next episode. Can't even talk. You know why? Because it's late. It's time for bed. See y'all next week.